Well, it finally happened. Jimmy Kimmel last night managed to make himself interesting by getting suspended. That's right, ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live after he used Charlie Kirk's assassination to take a cheap shot at conservatives. And for once, the fallout wasn't just angry tweets. It was local affiliates, regulators, and even Disney's lawyers saying, you know what? We're done. Welcome back, everyone, to the Critical Nerd. Smash that like button, ring the bell, and let's dive in because this isn't just another late night host stepping in it. This is a media earthquake. Nexstar, Sinclair, the FCC, Disney, even Donald Trump. Everybody got involved with this one. And the excuses people are making? Free speech, authoritarian crackdown. Don't worry, we'll tear that apart too. So what's all this about? Well, this is about Charlie Kirk, conservative activist, who was shot dead during a speech at Utah Valley University just over a week ago. The suspect? Tyler Robinson. Lean left, according to Utah's governor, who called his ideology pretty leftist and said he'd been radicalized. But Kimmel? Well, he went on air and told his audiences the MAGA gang were desperately trying to pretend the killer wasn't one of them. This wasn't just tasteless, it was false. Well, I'll just flat out say it. It was a lie. By Monday, when his monologue taped, the facts were already public. Kimmel ignored them and instead spun the tragedy into that narrative. Fast forward to last night. That's when Nexstar Media Group, one of ABC's biggest affiliates, put out this statement. They stepped in. Their president blasted Kimmel's remarks as offensive and insensitive and announced they'd pull the show indefinitely. And, it didn't stop there. Sinclair jumped on X saying they agreed and would also yank the show. Imagine being Jimmy Kimmel and finding out multiple billion-dollar station groups think reruns of Family Feud are a safer bet than your monologue. Now, needless to say, the feds, the FCC, well, they got involved too. FCC chairman Brendan Carr ripped into Kimmel's comments, saying networks have a, and I quote, public interest obligation when using the airwaves. He basically gave Disney two options. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. Now, gotta say, normally the FCC doesn't touch late night comedy, but here's the kicker. Nexstar has a $6.2 billion, that's billion with a B, dollar merger deal pending with Tegna. That means Nexstar had every reason to play nice with regulators and every reason to flex against ABC. So is this ethics or politics or just business? Honestly, you could probably say it was all three. Now, I got to address this because some of you out there are probably yelling, free speech, First Amendment right, he can say what he wants. Well, listen carefully, people, and I pointed this out in a video I did just a couple days ago. The First Amendment, freedom of speech, protects you from the government throwing you in jail for your words. Your speech is protected against the government doing things to you. It does not entitle you to a Disney paycheck, a primetime slot, or guaranteed advertisers. As with what is happening since Charlie Kirk's assassination, murder, whatever you want to call it, people have been getting fired from their jobs for their speech. This is no different with Jimmy Kimmel. See, ABC is a private company. Nexstar and Sinclair are broadcasters with licenses to protect. They decided Kimmel's rant wasn't worth the heat. That's not censorship. That's called consequences. Just like when Megyn Kelly reminded us ABC canned Chris Harrison from The Bachelor over a single comment about judging antebellum parties. Corporate discipline is not a new thing. It just usually hits the other side. Now, of course, President Trump, he had to weigh in. He jumped on Truth Social declaring, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations, ABC." Meanwhile, those on the left, those people started screaming about authoritarian crackdowns. Some claim Trump's FCC is bullying Disney. Others said Nexstar is just trying to grease the wheels for their merger. And sure, those angles, well, they do exist. But let's not pretend Kimmel didn't hand them the ammo by misinforming his audience about a national tragedy. Now, there's a bigger media story here that I got to touch on. What this really shows is a shift in the media balance. See, for decades, big networks like Disney, Paramount, and NBC, Comcast, they called the shots. Now, local affiliates and regulators they're flexing their muscles a little bit. As one insider put it, local broadcasters are standing up to Hollywood. And truth is, people are sick of late night being political sermons. They don't tune in to laugh anymore. They tune out completely. That's why Stephen Colbert was announced that his show's ending next year. That's why we had the announced suspension of Jimmy Kimmel last night. Jimmy Fallon, I gotta say, is the most moderate of the three that are on at 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time. But that doesn't change the fact that all of them are bleeding ratings. The only people laughing are the execs swapping them for game shows. So where does this all go? Where does this all lead? What's next? I mean, ABC, they might bring Kimmel back after a slap on the wrist apology. Possible. Or they keep him benched until the heat dies down. Worst case scenario for Jimmy, affiliates refuse to air him, advertisers bail, and Disney quietly cuts their losses. Either way, the myth that late night hosts can say whatever they want without consequence, well, let's just say that's dead. The balance of power has shifted, and this time, the mouse didn't protect one of its own. My take on this, well, my take is this isn't censorship. This isn't authoritarianism. This is called accountability. And in my opinion, it's long overdue. This is a reminder that facts matter, even in comedy. And if you want freedom of speech, grab a megaphone on the street. If you want a primetime show on ABC, don't mislead millions in the middle of a national trauma. So, I'm going to ask you, the viewer, the audience, was ABC right to suspend Kimmel? Or is this just corporate politics disguised as morality? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe for more. I'm the Critical Nerd signing off. And remember, sometimes the funniest thing Jimmy Kimmel can do is vanish from TV altogether.